getting underway. Game 2 in a best of 7 series. Currently, Convergence Gaming up 1-0 after the victory from Bio, as it is going to be Bio versus Rough. Game 2 on MLG Shakura's Plateau.
And once again, Bio doing you a favor with that yellow color, and Rough's going to be the traditional blue Terran. So I'll let you do the intros right here as we get started.
Alright, so it looks like Ruff is going to be spawning on the bottom right-hand side of the map as the blue Terran player. Meanwhile, a hop, skip, and 2 cliff jumps away, we have the yellow Zerg Bio and spawning over here on the bottom left-hand side. Now, this is going to be this is going to be close by air spawn, so we'll see if Ruff does decide to play that into his own personal strategy. Ruff, before the matchup, did say that he has about 100,000 different 100,000 different TVZ that he wants to try out, to which Bio wasn't too happy about, and we'll see what variation Ruff tries to go for. Apparently, Bio and Ruff pretty familiar with each other on the ladder, as we now see Ruff going for a low ground supply depot, something that I don't think I've
Yeah,
ever seen Ruff go for.
yeah, maybe he's going for the macro game. Like I said, it's not very close positions here, so it can be tough to put on that traditional 5 racks pressure, which he likes to do. Though you did mention the cliffs, his Reaper play could be very effective if it's not scouted, but I'm sure Bio will make sure to keep an Overlord between the 2 bases once he knows that Ruff is in this bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen. Ruff did opt to go for an 11 barracks as opposed to a 12 one. So that means that barracks will be completed slightly faster. And then perhaps the orbital command will be slightly faster as well. We'll see what this all means, as Ruff is not yet getting a gas. If he does go for gas, we may see a reactor play, but then again, I'm not really sure. We may see additional barracks and a whole bunch of tech labs. This is, I just hate predicting Ruff, just because Ruff always seems to head fake me every time I try to make a prediction.
Yeah, it's pretty impossible to dream up what he would be doing. I mean, you can, but there's just so many variations, like you said, of stuff that he likes to play, and so often we see players just play the standard, play the current meta game. They play what the pros play, what the top players do in GSL, and that's definitely a great way to play because they spend a lot of time playing StarCraft, and just emulating them can work in your favor. But it's fun to see guys try builds and really be creative and do things that are their own rather than just copying.
Yeah, we'll see what that Marine's going to do. The Marine, for some reason, is actually making a move out across the field. We are getting a tech lab added on, and Bio sees this all, so I'm not exactly sure what Ruff really plans to do. He is setting up a bunker straight underneath an Overlord. Drones are now being brought over. I like this play, especially as Terran players on average only lose 25 resources if that SCV can escape. It looks like that SCV will be doing exactly that, as the bunker should be canceled at the last second there. No, once again, the SCV is going back to work the bunker down to 40 hit points, 30 hit points, and is it going to go down? Oh, it does go down. So a little bit of a loss there, as the Marine now might get lost here, and Ruff looking a little bit sloppy. I'm not quite sure I agree with this style from Ruff right now.
Yeah, this is strange. It almost looks standard from Ruff, trying that bunker pressure, which we see a lot of players do. But he did come out, I believe, with a Reaper following the that first initial Marine. So I think he was trying to get up at least one bunker, but he needs to start that bunker much, much earlier. It needs to almost be finished by the time the Reaper comes over. And then you can definitely take out that hatchery. But now the Reaper's going to poke in there. There's already a Queen. It's going to get a shot or two on that Reaper. So Ruff really needs to keep that Reaper alive. He is going for the expand behind it, and he can start an upgrade on that tech lab. He's floating about 200 gas, so we'll see what he does next.
Yeah, but Bio is going to know about this expansion rather quickly. He already has an Overlord floating on the way over there. Normally, I would say that Bio is expecting mass Reapers, and he may try to defend a little bit more, perhaps lay some creep tumors down, get the Queen over to the edge, and the Reaper is going to come inside the base over here at the main base. The drone may get taken down. One drone gets taken down. A second drone may get taken down as well, and no, yeah, he is not focus firing, does get a second
Oh,
drone, but loses the Reaper, as the Zerglings and the Queen able to finish it off.
yeah, and that Reaper can give him a little bit of map control, can use these ledges on this map, to just be a pain. So losing that, sure, you got some drones out of it, but it would have been nice to have that for the next few minutes. So you could pop in, do some scouting, and take on those slow lings before they get speed.
Yeah, right now you can see 23 harvesters compared to 31. And Bio does know about this natural expansion that Ruff is already establishing. There is going to be a bunker on the front door, but it really feels like Bio is in control of this game. He has a 14 food advantage or 15 food advantage right now, as Ruff now establishing his third gas. So it really feels like Ruff doesn't have a set strategy as of yet. And Bio is just going to take this opportunity to drone up even further. Going to stop around 45 or 44 drones in just a second as he's now establishing some evolution chambers.
Yeah, he's has above 100 gas, so at that point the Zerg really has to make a decision. Am I going for a fast lair? Is my economy good enough to support lair attack at this point? And I like the evolution chamber play. You can start that upgrade, usually the armor, pretty quickly, and it definitely helps against any sort of mid-game timing pushes, especially once siege tanks come out. Having 1-1 or 0-1 Zerglings can be very good against those early timings from Terran.
Let's see what Ruff tries to do next. He is getting Blue Flame Hellions, which is a pretty common strategy. The only question I would have is whether or not he's going to get level 1 weapons upgrades on the armory. These drone or these Hellions cannot two-shot drones after the long time nerf of Blue Flame Hellions. And with that, they're not really as effective at raiding mineral lines any longer.
Yeah, so it looks like Bai is going to go for a very Ling-heavy play here. He does have the second evolution chamber going down, so he's going to have 1-1 started, and I imagine, yep, here comes the lair tech as well, so I think he's probably going to go immediately up to 2-2, and that's going to allow him to establish a third, maybe even a fourth, and just crush any sort of timing push here from Ruff. And Ruff is going to have these Blue Flame Hellions, but with this creep spread, Bio, oh wow, a huge hit there of Banelings.
Yeah, and that was just not good at all. Ruff just really not
Oh,
playing up to
wow.
snuff right now, and he's even trying to hide an expansion, but Bio has clear vision of that command center being built, so Bio is definitely in the driver's seat. He knows that no attacks can be coming in. A 14 drone advantage right now. He's going to be up running on 3 bases. 2 1-1 upgrades about to be or will be completed shortly as roaches are now being added. And Ruff going into very, very heavy mech play, getting up an additional 2 factories, and we'll see what he tries and transitions into now.
Losing those Hellions, that, oh my gosh, that's so huge. Hellions, they don't really scale linearly. They're almost like exponentially good. Like 6 Hellions is not half as good as 12 Hellions. Like 12 Hellions just kills everything. But if you only have 6, it's not that great. You can still be susceptible to surrounds and things. So the fact that he just lost, I think it was 6 to 8 Hellions there, really puts his Hellion count behind. And he invested in that Blue Flame. It looks like he's not even producing any at this point, and he's going to go for really, really heavy Thor play. Though he does have to add some Hellions here to defend against the Lings. And if Bio has 2-2 Lings, I think that's going to work really well against the Thor play coming from Ruff.
Yeah, right now Ruff really needs to get some additional armor or weapons upgrades on the Hellions. Otherwise, the Zerglings are going to need 3 shots in order to get toasted. You can see a planetary fortress is up for Ruff. The engineering bay is down. Perhaps, auto sec tracking plus armor upgrades for the planetary fortress would really help out here, as Ruff really needs to buy himself some time in order to slowly pick away at Bio's lead right now. Bio sitting on a 10 drone lead. He is going to be getting up onto a 4th base, but as many as bad decisions that Ruff has made so far, it doesn't really feel like Bio has run away with the game yet.
Yeah, it doesn't, but it's sort of sneaky what he's doing. He's got 2-2 on the way, and Ruff, he's basically working on 1-1, so the upgrades are going to be always 1 ahead for Bio. I think Bio is definitely, just since he's going for this heavy Ling style, is going to be able to afford Hive Tech very quickly as well, and it's going to be really tough for Ruff to take a 4th base anywhere on the map. It's going to be very open and susceptible. Bio's going to be maxed out by the time Ruff wants to go for a 4th, so right now it doesn't seem like Ruff is too far behind, but Zerg's taking a 4th. He'll probably get up a 5th hatchery somewhere soon as well, and then it's going to be crazy, just 200 Lings and possibly Ultras coming at you as well.
Yeah, also, what I also like from Bio was that he had taken down the destructible rocks on the south side, and you can now see the fifth base is being established. Mutalisks are going to try to come in, but they will not be able to hit this planetary fortress at all. There's already two missile turrets, the Terran building armor about to be completed, so the planetary fortress is going to be very, very strong, especially against Zerglings, which is the main contributing unit to this army right now. But we are getting some more roaches as well, but the siege tanks should be able enough to handle that, as the Mutalisks simply look for map control. And a siege tank now trying to position itself, trying to get behind the mineral line, and being able to protect this planetary fortress should be huge.
I really like just four Mutalisks right there. Like you said, it's just sort of poking around, getting some vision. If Ruff adds maybe just one or two missile turrets, those mutas really do pay for themselves, and it could also make Ruff think that mutas in lots or in large numbers are going to be coming. And I have a feeling the Bio, again, going for that very quick hive, is instead going to be going for the ultra type army with those heavy melee upgrades he's been investing in. Though he is going for missile attack level 1, and he's also coming out with quite a few roaches. So this is an interesting style that we hardly see in this matchup. More often we see it in ZVP, going for that heavy Ling and roach play.
Yeah, right now we are going into tunneling claws. The roaches already have burrow, as the Hellions are now trying to run away from those roaches. Roaches are very, very fast on creep, especially with that Glio reconstitution. And now you can see a command center trying to land, and Ruff knows that the destructible rocks have already been destroyed. Siege tanks now going to destroy these rocks. The siege tanks are upgraded 1-1. And we'll see what's going to come out on top. Bio already at 200 food, and may simply just rush in with mass roaches. It looks like it is going to be coming in over here, and this is going to be really, really bad. Siege tank's going to siege up, and here we go.
Yeah, Ruff's forces split a little bit here, and Bio has to go up this ramp, so he might actually get a pretty decent trade. But I think that all of Ruff's forces are going to go down here. Might actually have to cancel the planetary fortress morphing in here, yeah, and lift off. So Bio with 2 armor on those roaches, not taking very much damage from either the siege tanks or the Thors there, and Bio's going to be able to quickly remax. I was wrong. He's going for the Greater Spire instead, but he is getting 3-3. Wow, did he add? It looks like he added a 3rd evolution chamber, so he is going to be so upgrade heavy, and Tunneling Claws about to finish as well. He's got some crazy tech, and he's also got 5 bases at this point. I feel he's very far ahead of Ruff.
Yeah, right now, roaches are now making their way over, going to get some easy damage onto some of those, and tunneling claws being completed, corruptors being done, and Bio is not taking any chances whatsoever. Bio wants to make sure to absolutely destroy his opponent, as we now see Zergling's going to test the field, and I can't imagine Ruff being able to take this game back unless it is given to him, as we now see Zerglings try to run in on this front door.
Such beautiful transitions too by Bio. You know, a lot of times we see mech Terran players, they can't really get all 3 units, the Hellions, the tanks, and the Thors, so they usually have to choose 2 to go for, just because they don't have enough factories. So we saw that Bio went in there, he was able to focus down 2 Thors, and right now Ruff only has 1 Thor on the field, and instead he's pumping out just a ton of tanks and a ton of Hellions. He's expecting this Roach and Ling composition for the late game, but out come all these Broodlords from Bio, and Ruff is going to have no answer for these Broodlords. Just 1 Thor on the field, and these Broodlords are going to tear apart those tanks, tear apart the Hellions, and once they start sieging this 3rd and possibly the 4th of Ruff, I feel it's going to be GG.
Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen here. The roaches are now trying to make their way in. The siege tanks are pretty strong. The roaches simply able to walk inside, though. The siege tanks are dealing a lot of damage. Acid now dealing damage, as Hellions are now trying to make their way over. Hellions are not a good counter to those roaches here, as the Hellions are now trying to counter many of those units. The missile turret is revealing many of those roaches, but I really think all Bio is doing is trying to free up food for his tier 3 army, as we now see a transition into Vikings.
Yes, 6 Broodlords on, 6 Broodlords already on the field, 2 more on the way, and then 6 Corruptors. And I have a feeling these Vikings might be too late, especially if Bio keeps some of these Corruptors, not transforming them into Broodlords. Right now, he's got a pretty nice economy working off these 5 bases. He does have 85 Harvesters, and wow, Ruff has 94 SCVs on these 4 bases, so he's actually ahead in supply right now. He could choose some sort of timing here and maybe take down a hatchery or 2.
Yeah, this is kind of odd. All of a sudden, Ruff is ahead in food. He's not too far behind in the bank, but I don't know. Broodlords are on the field, and it's really gonna come down to that.
Yeah, I mean, he's really got no answer. Not many Thors, just got 3, and coming out of the Vikings, he's got 5 of them. But on the field already, we've got 10 Broodlords, and we've got 9 Corruptors. So those are going to do a ton of damage. Here we see the Broodlords shelling this planetary fortress. The third could go down for Ruff.
All right, here we'll see what's going to happen. There are Vikings engaging. The point defense drone does go down. It is going to stop many of the attacks from the Corruptors as the Siege Tanks are now trying to make their way in. The Vikings pulling back do have superior range, but the Broodlords are simply too much, and with no Marines to help focus fire the air, this is all rather strange. The Vikings still battling it out, but the Corruptors really winning this war. Not enough missile turrets here, and mass Broodlords and Corruptors on Shakura's Plateau. Very, very difficult, as the Thor is now trying to make their way in as well.
Yeah, 11 Corruptors and 8 more on the way, so even if he has to pull back here, he's just going to create another round of Broodlords, and I'm not sure he is going to have to pull back, as these Thors just being shelled. Ruff doing his best to repair this Thor. It's got 2 kills already, and SCV is desperately trying to repair. It looks like they might actually be successful. Bio really needs to start focusing down these Thors with the Broodlords. Instead, he's trying to focus down the Planetary Fortress, which is also being repaired. Pretty tough. It is 200 against 190, so Ruff keeping the supply pretty high, and Bio, I think, might have to pull back. More and more Broodlords coming in here. Right now, he's got 7 of them on the field, so he has to take down these remaining Thors before Ruff gets too many of them.
Okay, Ruff now up to 5 Vikings, and I don't know how Ruff is doing this, but Ruff is actually coming out slightly ahead. The Planetary Fortress already up to 70 kills as the Corruptors are getting destroyed here. The Siege Tanks outside of siege mode. A strong counter to Broodlings, apparently, as Bio now perhaps scratching his head as I am.
Yeah, he didn't have his Corruptors there in the battle, so the Vikings were able to get free shots, clean up all of those Broodlords. It looked like Bio had pulled back those Corruptors to try to transform them into Broodlords, but now, like I said, he's got too many Thors, 7 of them on the field, and that is going to be able to take on these Broodlords as they come in just a few at a time. There are 6 Broodlords, but I feel like they're going to have a decent force to reckon with in these Thors, and Ruff has to get repairing these Thors as well. He's doing a great job of it before, but like you said, these tanks have so many kills, and here come the Lings trying to get in on these tanks and these Vikings, but Ruff comes with a great round of Blue Flame Hellions, takes down most of those Lings, and Ruff coming out ahead in that one.
Okay, I don't know what just happened there. I actually thought that one of Ruff's siege tanks was actually dealing more damage to the Thors than actually helping, but somehow he's survived that attack. He's now getting 3-3 upgrades. He's getting autosec tracking. He's triple training up Vikings, and I don't know what to make of that.
You know, I think Bio needed Banelings there, and I think he needed probably his Ultra Cavern up a little bit early. He needed to do some switches there because Ruff was responding so well, and wow, there was that time where Bio had that advantage with all those Broodlords, but like you said, that second round of Vikings were able to take down most of those Broodlords while the Corruptors were missing in action.
All right, so right now we'll see what both of these players try to transition into. We are going to have 3-3 mech play about done, and then we may even see air weapons upgrades. We are sitting on about, how many Thors do we have on the field? 7 Thors on the field with 3 more in production. And that is just a crazy number of Thors. The SCVs do not have any armor, so I'm not quite sure how durable they are going to be to say any Banelings. But the Mutalisks are now trying to make their way in, and the Mutalisks are now being forced to pull away. Some easy missile turrets could be placed down. Autosec tracking with plus 1 range upgrade on those missile turrets really deal a lot of damage to those Mutalisks, as we now see an engagement in the center of the map.
Yeah, Bio pushing out once again. Creep is pretty well spread here, but just look how many Thors there are. I think they will need maybe some Hellions to try to peel off some of these Broodlings, but Bio does have 10 Broodlords on the field at this point, 14 Corruptors, and a ton of Lings. A lot of Banelings too. You really do need those Banelings for the splash damage, as they are really effective. We see them rolling in here. We'll see how many tanks and Thors are able to take down. Ruff doing his best not to target down those Banelings, and down goes a Thor or 2. Others are very low, and Bio might have done it with this push.
All right, we'll see what's going to happen. 120 versus 191 right now. It looks like Bio taking the opportunity to completely remax up. Vikings are joining the field, but there are a couple Corruptors out on the field as well. The Corruptors are now canceled, or Broodlords are getting canceled, and that was a clutch cancel in order to save the Broodlords. And now Ruff down to 117. Bio really coming back into this game. The Planetary Fortress is being repaired. The Broodlings are upgraded 3-3, so they are still able to deal at least some damage. The Planetary Fortress up to 148 kills as the Thors are now once again going back inside the base, and we'll see what's going to happen here as the Thors are now going to try to battle it up against those Corruptors. Ruff down to 120 food. The Planetary Fortress up to 170 kills now, and we'll see if it can still stay alive.
I think just too many Corruptors on the field. There's about to be 22, so they're just going to shred these Vikings, and as long as Bio splits the Broodlords and the Corruptors so they don't take too much splash damage from these Thors, he is going to possibly be able to take down the whole army here for Ruff. Ruff, again, constantly retreating back into his base, doing his best to clean up these Broodlings, but Bio just morphing Broodlords right in Ruff's main, and it's 192 to 132. Ruff does have 45 SCVs, so he's lost quite a few. Bio has taken down that third base. Ruff does have a fifth base established, but he's going to be hard-pressed to defend against this when the Zerg army is right in his production line.
Yeah, let's take a look at the field right now. 11 Broodlords, 16 Corruptors, and now out come 4 Thors just in time to get destroyed and surrounded by Broodlings. And a very important thing to note is that those Corruptors are upgraded to 1. So those Corruptors have a base 3 armor. That is going to be a lot of damage reduction. They can absorb a lot of attack, and they can also deal a lot of damage to those Vikings. They also have superior hit point counts, and Ruff now down to half the food of his opponent. I don't care how many Broodlings you kill, poor Hellion, that's not going to win you the war right now.
Yeah, and how many bases he has doesn't matter either, because his production is just going to be gone in a second. There's actually a lot of Vikings Ruff has been saving, so he's going to try to take on this force, but there are still so many Corruptors out. There are 16 Corruptors against the 10 Vikings. Ruff doing his best to kite, and is actually doing a nice job for the most part. He might actually be able to take down some of these Corruptors, but still more and more Corruptors coming out. Bio is working off of, looks like 7 bases at this point. Just a ton of gas coming in from him, over 1,200 per minute. So he's going to be able to keep up this constant Corruptor production, and I don't think Ruff is going to be able to stand up to it.
Yeah, the Vikings, 5 Vikings now trying to engage. The Corruptors do move faster, so it's very difficult for Vikings to actually kite. And really nice by Bio to make sure that he doesn't get within range of these missile turrets, even with the range upgrades. Vikings still dancing back and forth. It looks like 4 Vikings are left, but in comes another round of Corruptors. The Corruptors just going to tear apart all of these poor Vikings now as we see more starports trying to be rebuilt. And what's going to happen as the Broodlings are upgraded 3-3, the Broodlords are upgraded 2-2, Corruptors upgraded 2-2 obviously as well. But really this massive Air Force coming in, just destroying the bases. And Ruff down to 33 food. Unless he does an SCV rush, there's not much that can happen.
Yeah, there's the GG, and there goes game 2. Bio puts Convergence up 2-0, taking down 2 strong Terran opponents for vVv. So we were talking about it a little bit before the games even started, and one of these teams is 2-0 heading into game 3, and it's a very, very powerful position.
Yeah, definitely really powerful, and I gotta say, I counted Ruff out a little bit too early when he was behind in terms of his food. It really felt like Bio was in control of the game, and then I didn't look at the harvester count for a second. I didn't look at the food count, and I'm like, wait a second, how is Ruff ahead in terms of food and have more resources?
And he defended against that that big attack, and it looked like he was going to sort of wrestle back control the game from Bio, but Bio had so many bases established. Ruff didn't do any economic damage the entire game. He was sort of just relying on maxing out on that that Thor and Hellion tank composition, and once Bio busted it a little bit, Ruff just could never recover against the constant huge Corruptor production by Bio.